we're talking about the Atlanta shootings, let's talk about the race component, because we watched this video that's available talking about how it's not motivated by racism. I mean, he went to a bunch of spas where women of Asian descent worked and he murdered them. And like, I don't know what he would have had to say to the cops for it to count as racist or a hate crime for them. You know, there was some great commentary from, one of the people we bring on for commentary on legal matters, Adrian Lawrence, who said, if to punish a crime as a hate crime requires the assailant use racial epithets, what's the point in having a hate crime statute? This is nonsense. She goes on to say, the suspect claims he targeted the Asian spas because he has an issue with porn and was taking out places of temptation. Basically, the suspect is telling law enforcement that he's hypersexualizing Asian women establishments. How is that not racially motivated? And I want to add a couple of other great comments to that. One from Minha Pham, who said he didn't have a sexual addiction. He had racist sexualized fantasies about dominating Asian women. In other words, he had fantasies of white supremacy and acted on them. Name it. And Millie Tran, who said, as if these things aren't related and based on centuries of sexualized and submissive stereotypes of Asian women, white supremacy is rooted in misogyny and racism. Like everything that he has said, and it doesn't matter what he says. Let's be very clear about that. The killer doesn't get to decide if it was a hate crime or not. But even if it was up to him, he's making the case that it was 100% based on the sort of misogyny and anti-Asian racism that we know exists. And that, ideally American society would like to change a little bit on, but let's not forget that America just spent 2 weeks talking about how it's insane to want children to be exposed to a little bit less racist imagery about Asians. The biggest cable news network just spent 2 weeks saying, no, kids need to see racism against Asians. And I worry that that's gonna be lost a little bit in this, but I mean, JR, this is racism, that's a hate crime. He wanted to kill Asian women, that's what he did.
This is the thing, by the way, this murderer doesn't have to know that his motivations were based in his racist motivations and his white supremacy and his misogyny and his linking this to Asian women and his sexual deviancy, as he called it. So he doesn't have to be the one to know it, even if he's not covering it up because he's trying to get away with it in whatever way that people may think we're claiming he is. It's actually an indictment on our society that this is so normalized, this hypersexualization of Asian women, massage parlors. Oh my God, that's where I can go get my rocks off. The fact that that's such a normalized thing feeds into people's mindsets like this guy who think it's okay to then let me eliminate my issue with my porn addiction and my massage parlor fantasies and let me go kill some people. Because it doesn't have to be someone directing him, hey, go do that on March 16th. And go make sure this happens. Doesn't have to be the directive that makes sure someone does this or that even leads them down that road. That's why you have to be careful about the things you say, the way that you perpetuate stereotypes, and the way you talk about other folks. You know, the kind of folks that when we bring up an issue in our conversations, and then you get, oh, stop being such a snowflake. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh, that always used to be fine. Hey, well, what about, so anytime there's excuses for why people want to make sure you don't do things and say things a certain way that disparages an entire group of people that you don't know, it's because it can lead to people thinking they can do whatever they want to those folks. It happens with the homeless. It happens with every minority. There's been every kind of stereotype for every minority that's ever been in this country. And that always leads to violence, because if you downplay someone's existence as just your sexual deviancy, you can kill it. It's just about me anyway. It's about protecting me. Oh my God, I have a sexual deviancy. And you detach from the fact that your sexual deviancy is connected to human beings that you don't know. And you can kill them because who cares? It's about me.
Yeah. I mean, are we supposed to be surprised that in a country that is like equal parts guns and racism and undiagnosed and untreated mental illness, that if the most powerful and influential people in politics and media yell at America for a year that Asian people are responsible for all of the bad stuff that's happening, even though they then turn and say that it's not that bad and it's being exaggerated. But when they're focused on the racism, it's bad, that hate crimes happen. And that this most recent spate of racist murders happens, but that comes after a ton of killings that we've talked about previously, a full year of a massive uptick in harassment. I don't think that we can be particularly surprised by that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.